And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Chainlink analysis video. It is a weekend, so happy weekend to each and every one of you. And I really hope it's a happy one since, well, look at this chart, guys. Bitcoin actually finally picked a side after 1 month of just squeezing into that symmetrical triangle that we've been talking about, right? We have been oscillating in that cloud and we finally picked a side. Now we'll be going over that today, as well as there have been some developments on the Chainlink chart, so we'll be talking about that as well and just, try and figure out where the markets are going. However, please note it is the weekend, so you guys know about the whole weekend effery, but I feel like now it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, much to do with the CME gaps and all of that stuff. So, there are a lot of factors to be considered when looking at weekend price action. But that's that. What we're going to start off with first is, first of all, I just want to give a very, very big shout out to Vishal from the Mango Seed program. Now, he was actually playing the symmetrical triangle break, okay? And what was really cool about the way he played it was how well thought out his entire trade plan was. So he had a plan in place, okay? He took all the concepts that he learned, he created a plan, all right? But he executed on it to the T. And I'm actually smiling while saying this because I want to show you an excerpt of a conversation that took place just earlier this morning in the C chat. Okay, and here it is. This is him right here, Vishal, saying, "Morning mangoes, made lots of profit over the last couple of days. Nice way to kick off the weekend." And then he's got like the most accurate GIF, the most accurate mango GIF, okay? But what was really cool about this was this next line, okay? It says, "Took profit while cooking, playing squash, and sleeping." Let that sink in. Now this right here is the definition of trading the stress-free way. Now this is what Sean keeps telling you guys about, right? That's what he keeps promoting. Trade the stress-free way, guys. And Vishal here, okay, is a testament that it is possible. Okay, trading stress-free is possible. I mean, to think that he was taking profits while not even being on the computer. He was cooking, playing squash, and sleeping when his take profits were going off. All right. However, note that Vishal, he's been coming in every day and he's willing to invest the time and the effort that it takes to actually take his trading to the next level. Okay, now this time he had a very well thought out plan and he executed on it really, really well. And this really drives the importance, guys, of having a plan. Okay, now I mentioned this in one of my last few videos where I was talking to you guys about having a trade plan. Before you approach any trade, even if you have to write it down, if you have to put it on your chart, put it somewhere, but have a plan. Now, I believe Vishal had his, drawn out on his chart. Of course, he knew exactly what zones he was looking at. Okay, he used his TA knowledge to actually mark out the zones on his chart, and he took profit on all those levels. Okay, and just him having a plan was what really allowed him to take profits while not having to be on the computer. Now, these are all small little tips that you guys can take and learn from. Okay, now today Vishal was that one example, so thank you Vishal and congratulations once again. Now let's get into the charts and see what Bitcoin is up to. Now the last time we spoke about Bitcoin was on the Thursday. I did not post a video yesterday, and of course the one day I decide not to post a video, Bitcoin breaks out. But it's okay, it's okay. The last time we covered it, we've been covering both sides of the trade. Because that's another thing I've been putting some emphasis on, is that there's always two sides to a trade. Now we had covered the symmetrical triangle that we were looking at, right? This symmetrical triangle consolidation that we have been in for a month. We spoke about it breaking to the upside as well as to the downside. Now, a break to the upside, I believe, would take Bitcoin all the way up to this region, 12.2K, okay? And a break to the downside would have taken it all the way down to 8.8K. However, that determining factor that I was telling you guys about is going to be this daily cloud. All right, ever since we broke into the daily cloud, Bitcoin has been oscillating within that range. We had not broken outside the cloud. Now, as things unfolded on Friday, we actually had that beautiful candle body close over the cloud after what? A month. 1 month of consolidation inside the cloud and finally a break. So that was your first clue in that price wanted to have continuation to the upside. Now, ideally, I would have liked to see, more volume actually step in there on that break, but we did not see that. However, if we close this next weekly candle, okay, we close this in about 2 days. If we close the next weekly candle over the Kijun right here, the daily Kijun, I will be looking at this as an official break, at which point I will be expecting continuation all the way to testing these tops right here, sitting at around 11.9K, going all the way up to the measured move of this beautiful symmetrical triangle, sitting at around 12.2K. All right. Now, in my last video with you guys where we covered Bitcoin, I'm just going to quickly pan on over to the 4-hour time frame. Now, these are like small sort of signatures on any chart that you can really pick up on to really figure out, who really is winning the fight here. Is the bulls or the bears? Now, the last time we covered Bitcoin, I recall that we were in this region right here. Now, I was telling you guys that this is looking good, just merely because the bears did not, or rather could not, push price down to the region of support that we have been respecting for a good 1 month now. Okay, every time we've come down, we've managed to test that diagonal that has been supporting the price of Bitcoin and really guiding that higher low structure on the weekly time frame. Okay, yes, it is this symmetrical triangle right here, okay, this bottom diagonal that is actually guiding that overall uptrend on the weekly time frame. Okay, it's just kind of zoomed in right now. But if you notice this region right here, we did not get that. We did not get that official test. It told me that the bears lost the fight here very, very easily. Okay, the bulls stepped in, they stepped in with conviction, and they managed to take price up. So as things unfolded, it appeared that the bears lost their ammo before we even reached the resistance here, okay, which allowed the bulls to actually push it up without much of a fight. Okay, it's also telling me that the order books on the sell side must have thinned out, so there are very few people willing to sell their Bitcoin at these levels. Okay, 10.9K, very, very few people willing to sell. Now, Sean had a point in that people must have closed out some of their open orders because we were heading into the weekend. Now, yes, of course, that could be a plausible sort of case for Bitcoin and as to why the sell side thinned out. But I do believe that we're going to have to wait on that next weekly close, okay? Now, we closed that in 2 days, so it's not much of a wait, but I think that is really going to dictate where price moves from here. But as things stand right now, there's one thing that cannot be refuted, is that the bulls are in control. Okay, the bulls are in control. Why? Because if you just pan on over to the weekly very quickly, remember what we have been looking at, right? If I just zoom into this price action here, we were looking at these higher lows that have been established, right? That beautiful bullish structure. But also, guys, for now weeks on end, we've had a series of lower highs as well. And this candle effectively has broken that trend that we have set in for a good month now. Okay, closing anywhere over this region right here at around 10.9K would be ideal. The more bullish case for Bitcoin would be us closing over this region right here, 11.3K. Okay, that also marks the cloud resistance overhead. Now, there's a lot more to kind of talk about the weekly. Sean and I will be together in the next video really dissecting this chart. Now, I don't want to get too excited here and spill the beans, but what I'll be looking for getting into tomorrow's daily close is for us to actually close over that Kijun. If we can start closing over that Kijun, which is sitting at 11,150, okay, and even getting into, well, the next weekly close, if we can close both those candles over 11,150, I do believe that that would be super, super bullish, at which point I will be looking for continuation to the upside, okay? Possibly going all the way up to the first region of resistance is going to be here at around 11.9K, and then working its way all the way up to that 11.2K region. Okay, and thus meeting the measured move of this beautiful symmetrical triangle break. And that's all I have for you for Bitcoin. Let's quickly get on to Link USD and see what Linky Dink is up to. And it's looking good, okay? So the last time we covered Link USD, I was talking to you guys about Link on that weekly time frame. Now, the last week, Link actually closed above that 21 EMA support, while it looks like it actually, closed under. If you sort of look at the numbers, okay, to the decimal point, you'll notice that we made it by just a couple of cents. Like it was too weak a close. There was not enough conviction from the bulls on that weekly close, okay? We barely got supported. And as you know, we actually did see immediate continuation to the downside, okay, only for price to have gotten picked back up in this past 24 hours, ever since Bitcoin had its move to the upside. Now, as things stand, if we just get on to, well, some of those lower time frames, let's first start off with the daily time frame. Get onto the daily, I'm noticing a couple of developments on this chart. Now, the primary level of resistance that I'll be watching is this region right here at around $11.13. I want to see how Chainlink reacts off of that region. Now, depending on how we close relative to that region, will I either be expecting upside or downside? If we start meeting rejection here, like we did right here in this region right here, okay, I will be looking for another sort of push to the downside, possibly even hunting for a higher low to be set in. Okay, now these are the two plausible cases. Now, Sean brought this up to my attention. Now, he believes that Chainlink may if we get rejected off of that $11 region, Chainlink may very well come down to set in another higher low and then have a push up. And the next push up will actually meet with a thinning cloud resistance overhead. And not just that, it's not just thin cloud resistance, that is also the Kumo twist. Now, this is something for those of you who have been watching our videos, you guys know that one of Mango's observations have been that every time there's a Kumo twist on the cloud, we usually see price gravitate towards the Kumo twist. So in this case, it is above us, so we're likely to see price actually get pulled in. But what's really, really interesting about this cloud resistance, as well as that Kumo twist, is that how thin that resistance really is. So if we actually manage to do something like this, there's a good chance that we could very well just break right through. However, what is to note here, okay, is that the region that everyone should be watching, okay, irrespective of what pattern is at play, is going to be this $11 region. That is going to dictate. Price could very well even just break up right now in the next couple of days and then use it as support. Okay, but depending on how we react off of this region, that is going to really set precedent as to whether or not we're going to have further continuation to the upside, and how immediate is that going to be, or if we're going to have continuation to the downside. Okay, so if we break that, then I think it's going to be a legitimate break, at which point I will be looking for continuation. And if there is continuation, the measured move of, this Adam and Eve pattern is going to take Chainlink USD all the way up to this region right here at around $14.84. However, please note that we still have Kijun resistance underneath us at $13.61. Only if we take out this region, will I actually anticipate a move all the way up to the measured move. Okay, but the key region right here is going to be $11.13. Now, getting onto the 4-hour time frame, there's one thing that I've been harping on about it's about how well Chainlink does off of that 21 EMA. If we start using that as the support underneath us, I will be looking for Chainlink to establish an uptrend. Okay, if you notice, if I just sort of zoom out of this chart, every time Chainlink has been in an uptrend, it has used that 21 EMA extremely well as support. Okay, the last time we had a beautiful uptrend was this region right here. If you notice, when we started this uptrend, not once did we lose that 21 EMA. We saw a loss right here for a very brief period of time until price managed to take it back up on that next candle. Okay, so watch out for that, and watch for whether or not Chainlink is able to establish a trend on that 21 EMA. Okay, that is going to dictate whether there is a bigger move that is yet to come. So yeah, this is what's happening on Chainlink's chart. Key level here is going to be $11. If we break, we're going up further. If we meet with rejection, we're likely coming down. I personally will be looking for a higher low to be set in, at which point this may very well morph into an ascending triangle. So watch out for these kind of signatures on the charts, because there's a good chance that it is likely going to tip you off on a good trade setup. Okay, now this is all I have for you for Bitcoin as well as Chainlink. With this, guys, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way, guys. Ciao.